we entered this area, I told you that there were a few houses that made the exception. And so when they were built, first exception was that yellow house around that corner on Congress Street. Second exception was a little cottage there behind us at the Pirates House. Third exception is there on the right. Brick house, white columns, green door, number 518. The house makes a third exception in this area. Reason being, that's practically a brand new home. Newly constructed, built from the ground. This coming December, the house will be 6 years old, but it makes a third exception in the area. Houses on the right, green door, pink door, blue door, with the coordinating shutters. Those houses are known as Rainbow Row. They were built in the year 1892, and they were painted in the original Savannah colors. The original Savannah colors were named after a person, or they had some type of significant meaning. For example, across the street to the far right is a brick doorway. Inside of it is a red door. Any of you see it? That color red is known as Tomachichi red. Tomachichi was the chief of the Yamacraw Indians. Shutters on the house, corner on the right, they look green, they're actually black. That color is Oglethorpe Black, named after our founder, James Edward Oglethorpe. Then on the right, house number 418, you got 3 lanterns hanging from under that porch there at the bottom. That porch is painted a light blue on the bottom as well as up top. It's called Haint Blue, H-A-I-N-T, to keep out the evil haints, the evil spirits. Then on the right, house number 410, the house is known as Ain't, A-I-N-T, because it ain't blue and it ain't green. And those are just a few of the original Savannah colors. I want y'all to know that here in Savannah, there were 3 major fires. The first fire was known as a Great Fire of 1796. Just ahead of us, we're coming upon one of the major buildings that survived that first fire, that Great Fire of 1796. Just ahead of us, there on the left, as I pull up, is the old Pink House. The old Pink House there on the left. I tell you what, it's going to be on my right because I'm going to get behind the camera. The old Pink House. There on the right, it's now a restaurant and table. The building itself was erected in the year 1771, and it survived the Great Fire of 1796, that first fire. The second fire was a fire of 1820, which started in Mr. Groom's livery stable. Third fire was a fire of 1889, which referred to as Hogan's Fire, because it started in Hogan's department store. We're going to head into Johnson Square right now, first square in the city. First of 24, named for Robert Johnson, one of South Carolina's governors. Johnson Square was and still is known as a social gathering place. Johnson Square is where the early settlers would come to find out exactly what was going on and happening in the colony. There's a church there on the corner on the right. That's actually the back of the church. That's Christ Church. Christ Church there on the left is a mother church of the state of Georgia. Congregation dates back to 1733, back to the founding of this colony. That church was built in 1838. Church is open for touring today. The original church was burned during that second fire of 1820, but that's Christ Church, the mother church of the state of Georgia. You Girl Scouts, that's the church of your founder, Juliet Gordon Lowe. That's where she was hatched, matched, and dispatched. She was baptized in the year 1860. She married William Mackey Lowe there in 1886, and that's where they funeralized her. They eulogized her there from Christ Church in the year 1927. There to the left, you get a good view of Johnson Square, first square in the city. Johnson Square. There's always something going on in Johnson Square. Take a look to the right at the inner Bull Street at Bay. That's our beautiful City Hall. City Hall built in 1905 at a cost of $205,000. Just completed some major renovations about 6 months ago. Completed at a cost of $2 million. In today's time, Johnson Square is known as Banker Square. We got 10 banks around this one square. Soon to have there be 11, believe it or not. Over to the left, in the center of that square, there's a monument. Monument there to the left of the square, you get a good view of it in just a moment, was dedicated to Major General Nathaniel Greene. Now, Greene was second in command to George Washington. As part of payment for the services that Greene rendered, they gave him Mulberry Grove Plantation. Monument there to the left of the square. But he didn't live on that plantation very long. He went out riding one day without his hat. He wasn't used to climbing here. He had a heat stroke and he died. As a matter of fact, Greene and his youngest son are buried in that square. When Greene died, he left behind a widow and 4 small children. Mrs. Greene wanted her children to be educated, so she hired a tutor, an educated man from Yale University by the name of Eli Whitney. It was there on Mulberry Grove Plantation, which is about 14 miles west of us, that Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin in the year 1793. Street just ahead of us here, this red light is Broughton Street. Broughton Street is known as Main Street here in downtown Savannah. It runs east and west. It's undergone quite a bit of revitalization. We got lots and lots and lots of shopping here on Broughton Street. We got restaurants, galleries, boutiques, jewelry stores, athletic clubs, day spas. There on the corner on the left, we even have a Starbucks coffee. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. And I know they said no city is complete without a Starbucks. That's our downtown location. Wright Square, ahead of us, named for Sir James Wright, our third and last royal governor. In the center of that square, there is a monument which is dedicated to William Washington Gordon. Gordon was the president and founder of the Central Georgia Railroad. I made mention of that back at the Visitor Center. Most famous for being the grandfather of Juliet Gordon Lowe. As I aforementioned, I told y'all Juliet was the founder of the Girl Scouts. Beautiful building there on the corner on the left, dates back to 1899. Built from Georgia marble. That's our federal courthouse as well as our former post office. Just recently renamed the Tomochichi United States Federal Courthouse. We're going to head on into Telfair Square. That's where we're going right now. Telfair Square, as we enter it, was named for a very prominent family here in the city. It was named more so for the father, Edward Telfair. Edward was a delegate to the Continental Congress. He was also governor of the state of Georgia. We're coming upon the home where the Telfair family once lived. As I said, they were a prominent family. Their home was referred to as the Telfair Mansion. On the right is the Telfair Mansion, built in 1818 by William J. Now the Telfair Museum of Arts and Sciences. When the last living member of the family died, her name was Mary Telfair, that same Mary that built that women's hospital. Mary left that house to the Georgia Historical Society with one stipulation, that it be used as an art museum. It's been used as an art museum since 1886. As a matter of fact, it's the first oldest public art museum in the Southeast. Now, those of you that are familiar with that book, Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, the bird girl statue that's on the cover of that book is on display there in the Telfair Museum. It originally was over in Bonaventure Cemetery, but they had to remove it. So now they're in the Telfair Museum. We're going to head on over in the City Market. City Market is stop number 10 on the map. As we enter City Market, some of you may want to know where Paula Dean's restaurant is. Paula has a cooking show on the Food Network. I point out the general location of the restaurant as we enter City Market. City Market used to be an open air market. This is where the early settlers would come to sell and purchase their goods. It's been restored now to a modern day market. As I stop at the stop sign just ahead of us, the street is Congress Street. I'm going to pull up in just a minute. I just got to wait for that other trolley to pull out so I won't block the intersection. Well, Paula's restaurant is here to the right. Directly down Congress Street to the right. I'll point it out to y'all in just a minute. Take a look for me there to the right, just beyond that big blue marquee. Says Sorry Charlie's. There at that stop sign, that very next stop sign where those people are gathered, that's where Paula's restaurant is. And we're here at stop number 210, excuse me, y'all. If any of y'all care to exit, would any of you like to exit here? Okay, take your time as you exit. Hold on to that handrail, and y'all enjoy your day. And when you leave this area, if you pick up your trolley right here, the tour will continue on and get you to the visitor center stop 1, okay? You're welcome. Y'all have a good day. Hold on to that handrail for me. And I thank all of you. Y'all enjoy your day now. All righty. That is